Hey y'all, I'm doing this video because about a week and a half ago, the founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, came out and he had some strong opinions on the bill HR 3633, aka the Clarity Act. And in it, he pointed out off the top of his head some attack vectors that could be used in the future to really put crypto in a stronghold. And one of the things that he pointed out is what I really wanted to talk about is that moving forward, every new crypto project starts off as a security. And as a security, it will be then hard for that crypto project to get liquidity.
And guys, this is me just off the top of my head for a few minutes looking at the bill for attack vectors. Do you understand that an adversarial SEC, this is a wet dream? You start as a security, all new cryptocurrency projects. The legacy ones like Cardano and Ethereum and XRP will likely be grandfathered in. Everybody else starts as a security, all new projects. And instead of having Scary Gary rolling the dice with no law and ambiguity in a court that's favorable to us, they now have HR 3633. With no developer protections, they were stripped out. Everything starting as a security by default, and numerous procedural attack vectors to keep you as a security forever. And as a security, you can't get liquidity. So how do you broaden the ownership of the token? As a security, there's no token go up. So how do you get people to invest in your ecosystem and build in your ecosystem when they have non-security standards that exist? And they could trap us like they did with BitLicense, like the FDA does with approvals, and like the SEC did previously under Gensler.
And I agree with him 100% on that. And, the vagueness of the bill from how you move out of a security to a commodity, that's a very dangerous place to be in. So I agree with Charles 100% that a bad bill should not be passed because right now everyone's like, well, we have a crypto friendly administration and the president is crypto friendly. And that's all great and fine and dandy, but what does that mean moving forward, right? Like, we don't want to pass something bad so that we get a quick bump in token go up price or valuation at the expense of the industry dying a slow death long term, right? Like, we don't want 1,000 cuts and we slowly bleed out until there's nothing left. Now, where I do think that there's room for improvement, and I think we have been fighting the wrong fight for many years. And actually, if you go check out my videos, my last video was on this very topic, is that we shouldn't be fighting whether or not something is a security or commodity. To be honest with you, I want some of these to be securities. What we need to be doing is having security law reform. The system is set up where only a few people can take advantage of the good opportunities so that they make money. If the stablecoin thing isn't showing you that, then I don't know what will. Banks are right now, literally saying you can't put your money where you want to get yield because it hurts our bottom line. This is the same thing with securities laws in this country. It is set up so rich people have the best opportunity of investing early, and therefore they get all the upside. Not only is it okay, I can invest early, what it does is it allows them to pick winners and losers. Because think of this, if you have a few companies in a specific niche and you're like, okay, well, I can't invest in all of them, but what I want to do is put a bet on one of them to become the winner. You get together with your rich friends and where you say, okay, we're going to back this company. That one company then gets all the funding, and all the other good American companies that are out there that could have gotten funding can't because there's only small pockets of liquidity, the way how securities laws are set up, that you can go get funding from angel investors and VC companies or the banks. Now, what crypto showed us from 2016 and 2017 is that a person can have an idea and they can raise millions of dollars in a matter of minutes. So that capital formation was a really critical point that I think a lot of people overlook, that the 2016, 2017 crypto bull run showed us, is that you can get people to invest into ideas that can then grow into $1 million, $1 billion ideas. And yes, there was a lot of fraud and scams, and that's what we need to address. And actually, in my last video, I put out a scenario in how the banks get what they want as far as keeping deposits, crypto gets what they want, and the American people get something for the first time that they've never had, being able to invest in early stage markets. And it will also allow for entrepreneurs to have new avenues to raise money. So while I agree with Charles 100%, we should not be passing a bad bill, I think we need a different fight on our hands. We need to be attacking security laws reform. Everybody should be able to invest and put their money into whatever they want, whenever they want to. And what we should be looking at is how do we best protect fraud and scams from happening, because there's a way to do it. And especially with blockchain, we have lots of tools now that we can implement to make that a reality. The 18-year-old that just graduated from high school and works at McDonald's should be able to invest into a startup that can then put money in their pocket rather than having to invest once it has built up most of its evaluation and now hits the stop. That's another thing. I'll get into that on a different day. Most of the companies right now on the stock market, you look at it, it's just all about popularity and growth and, oh, this money is going to go up and go up and go up. But they're not really giving you any real revenue share. You're making your money on number go up, selling and dumping on the next person, and that is the situation. What I would like to see is a market of just even community businesses where you can put money into businesses that you actually go to, shop at, and that business is paying you a recurring revenue for the profit that they're making. And I would love to see that in crypto. I would absolutely love to see that in crypto, because I can tell you this, governance tokens are just getting old. No, I won't say nobody, but a lot of people don't care about the governance when they can't get a revenue share from it. I would love for some of these tokens to be securities to share actual protocol revenue shares, because you know what that does? It means that good protocols that are actually being used, that are actually generating fees, can now directly pay those fees to their token holders. So I want some of these projects to be securities. I want security laws reform so that everyday Americans can go ahead and invest in securities. There's no reason why I can take my entire paycheck, fly to Vegas, bet it all on black, and lose it, and that was a 50-50 chance, versus me taking a strategic approach, looking at a company that I know about and putting my money into it. This concept of I need to protect the investor from everything out there under the sun is wrong, it's bad, and it needs to go out the window. Nobody can protect you from everything. There's risk in everything. But I can guarantee you this, if we set up this country in a way where you are able to take these strategic risk and invest in companies that actually make sense, you will grow your own net worth and this company will be stronger. The way how you make America great again is you have to have Americans own America. Americans need to own American businesses. Just think about it. If you were 18 years old and the system was set up that you can own a part of your grocery store, your mechanic shop, your laundromat, all these things that you can buy into in your own community. And every month, those businesses are paying you a little bit every month from the profit that they make. And you do that for, let's just say until you're 50 years old, you're investing into local businesses that are actually giving you revenue sharing. You could probably retire at 50. And guess what? You don't need Social Security, because now all of the businesses that you use and that you have invested in legally have been paying you micropayments for all these years, and they will continue to pay you. And now you've built up a portfolio that when you retire, these businesses are still going to continue to pay you. You don't need Social Security. And guess what? It scales, because as inflation goes up, these businesses are going to have to adjust their prices to match inflation. So that means the profit that you make is also adjusted up as well. And that means that your lifestyle can stay on par with how you retired. We've got to stop with the narrative of here are the laws. We need to finagle ourselves within these messed up laws. We need to change some of these laws. And securities law reform needs to happen. I think if that changes, it changes the face of America. That is the linchpin, in my opinion, that lets people in America actually get ahead. Because when you're able to invest and you're able to raise capital from everyone around you, it changes the game. 2016, 2017 showed you that. It showed you that you could raise millions of dollars in a matter of weeks, months. Imagine a local entrepreneur who has been, I don't know, barbecuing his whole life. And now he wants to open up a barbecue spot. Everybody in the neighborhood knows him, but he doesn't have the capital to do it. And he's able to then raise $3 million to open up his barbecue spot. And he does a profit sharing with the people who invested into his barbecue spot. And now everybody that invested into his barbecue spot, that is a security, every month he sends out a profit sharing payment to them. Not only will that spot become more desirable to go to, because now you got thousands of people in your community, maybe hundreds, that invested in it. They're going to be invested in the success of that because it pays them. They're going to recommend it to their friends, and that person will grow leaps and bounds because they have built-in advertising right there. Securities laws need to be changed. That's the fight that us crypto natives need to be having. Not, is it a security or commodity? I want securities because I want profit sharing opportunities, but we got to make it make sense. So I agree with Charles 100%. A bad bill should not be passed. And at this point, I think we need to also be having a different conversation about security laws reform. And I'm not the only person that has said this. There's been SEC commissioners in the past that has said we need to get rid of the accredited and non-accredited investors that is holding America back. So let's get that done. Let's make that a priority in crypto and watch how a lot of this stuff changes. But they don't want you to do that because they want to be able to extract most of the value in the beginning, and they want to determine who the winners and losers will be early on. That way their investment goes up rather than down. Rather than them having to worry about 100 competitors, they've only got 3 that they have to worry about. And then they can corral their people to invest into that one, and now they know which company is going to win out. But we need competition. We need America to be strong. We need multiple businesses, not just these mega corporations, and we need funding. And the people are capable and willing to fund it if the American government would allow them to do it legally and allow entrepreneurs to raise from the public legally. And the banks can have an watch my video. Watch my last video about it. I detail a plan on how the banks actually become the heroes, and they probably will increase their deposits and have a way of making money. So thank y'all for watching. I'm out.